Let's go to major test review part B. For y equals -3 sine function, fill in the box and graph it. First of all, you have to make sure this is a transformed form, which means x, it has to be 1x. In other words, when you have a number beside this x, make sure that number you need to take out. So we have number beside this x is not 1. You need to take out this 1/2. So let's write down over here, y equals -3 sine 1/2 x plus 3 pi over 8. Then minus 2. You need to take this 1/2 outside. That means we divide by 1/2. So we got y equals -3 sine. That's 1/2. Reduce, that is x. For 3 pi over 8, then over 1/2, we got to do complex fraction operation. 8 go down, 2 goes up. So you get 3 pi times 2 and 1 times 8. You got 6 pi over 8 reduce. That will be 3 pi over 4. So we got plus 3 pi over 4. Then minus 2. So we get A, B, C, and D. Amplitude will be 3. New origin will be inside is lighter. That means move to the left side. -3 pi over 4 and -2. Period, you got to do 2 pi over b. That's 1/2. So flip this one, we got 4 pi. Maximum, we can make this sine function into plus or minus 1. So we got 1 is -3 times 1 minus 2. We got -5. The other is -3 times -1 minus 2. That's 1. Maximum will be 1, and the minimum is -5. For transformation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. First step, reflect across x-axis. Second step, that's vertically stretch by factor of 3. For third step, inside is a layer. There is a horizontally stretch by factor of 2. For fourth step, move to the left, 3 pi over 4 units. For last step, go down 2 units. Check the given graphing paper. That's unit equals pi over 2 divided by 2. That's pi over 4. Because you do pi over 2 divided by 2. That's how you get the pi over 4. How many units stand for one period? We got to do period, that's 4 pi. So 4 pi over 4. Same numerator, that's reduce. This is a jump. You got 16. Therefore, we will figure out that new origin, negative 3 pi over 4. Where you can find that negative 3 pi over 4? Each one is pi over 4. So we got here, that will be 2 pi over 4. This will be 3 pi over 4. That means 3 units will be 3 pi over 4. Therefore, negative 3 pi over 4, negative 2 will be here. Then we draw dotted line. And from this new orange, you need to count 16 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's here. Then count half. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's here. Then you get half. Find the amplitude, that's 3. So from new origin, go up 3, then down 3. This is a negative sine pattern. That means when you push this S down, you will get like this. So got the 5 key points from midline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we got from here 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we can connect these 5 points. That will be like this. That's the graph. Let's go to C. This is a SL question. Let f of x equal to sine 2x plus 1. Then x between 0 to pi. Sketch the curve of y equals x on the grid below. First of all, when you sketch the graph, make sure that it's a transform form. It's not. So first of all, I need to change into transformed form. Take this 2, then I need to divide it by 2, divided by 2. I will get the x plus 1 over 2. Then always remember our steps. We have A, that's 1. B, C, D is equal to 0. So we got a new origin. That will be negative 1 half 0. And a period, that will be 2 pi over 2 equals pi. This time, you need to change pi into 3.14 because your given graphing paper labeled as 1 to 3 is not like pi over 3 or pi over 2. So you need to change pi into 3.14. We figure out the unit of a given graph, that's 0.5. So how many units for each period? We got to do is use period over unit. That is 3.14 divided by 0.5. You will get 6.28. Now we can sketch the graph. First of all, new origin, that's a negative 1/2. That means negative 0.5. From this given graphing paper, we couldn't find the negative 0.5. So we estimate it's over here. Then we need to set up the new coordinate plane. Then from this new origin, I need to count 6.28 units. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.28 estimate here. Then we get half of that. That means 3.14. 1, 2, 3.14. Yeah, close here. Then we got half of 3.14, like 1.5 something. So it's over here. This part is over here. You just need to estimate. And then A is 1. So go up 1, down 1. Then check the pattern. This is a sine function, positive sine function. So your graph like this. Then we will find those 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now on the graphing paper, we need to find those 5 key points. That will be 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we need to connect these 5 key points. That will be like this one. Check our domain, that's between 0 to pi. So we need to extend this graph like this. We estimate this part is 3.14. And we erase this part. Yeah, that's the graph. So how to handle this kind of question in SL? First of all, just use our way to figure this out. Then check their domain. Make your graph between this domain. That's it. Now let's go to number 1. A formula for the depth d meters of water given like this. T stands for the hours after midnight. You need to be careful. KT is a degree. What's this mean? When you're looking for the period, you have to do 360 over B. In other words, B equals 360 over P. Then you need to figure out P, Q, and K. First of all, using our steps, we need to figure out that maximum equals 14.6 and minimum equals 8.2. Therefore, for amplitude, we do 14.6 minus 8.2 over 2. That will be 6.4 over 2. That's 3.2. For D, we add this together. 14.6 plus 8.2 over 2. You will get 22.8 over 2. That's 11.4. Now let's go to period. For this given graph, the minimum value and the maximum value, we only are given once. So we get the distance, the horizontal distance between these two. That will be 12 minus 6. We do the x coordinate equals 6. Therefore, period will be 2 times 6 equals 12. And we can figure out that B equals 360 degree over 12. That's 30. After you figure out the ABD, you can figure out C. For the C part, you have to analyze the given pattern. We could see C equals 0 because we didn't get the x minus C this pattern or t minus C this pattern. So we got the C equals 0. Therefore, we need to sketch the graph like this because your starting point has to be on the y-axis. That's a positive cosine pattern. Therefore, we can write down our equation using this pattern. Y equals A cosine B x minus C plus D. We got Y equals A is 3.2. This is a positive cosine pattern. So positive 3.2 cosine. B is 30x. C is 0, so you don't have to minus 0 here. Then add D. D is 11.4. Let me rewrite the cosine pattern we got from the given graph. It's time to compare to the given pattern now, so that we can figure out for each variable what's the value for that. We got Q equals 3.2 and P equals 11.4. How you get the K? K basically equals 30. See, this is 30. X is our variable, but for this variable, that's T. So basically, T is counted as X, and K will be 30. That's it. For number 2, this is the SL question 2. We need to figure out the variable A, B, and K. We know the maximum value already. We know minimum value. And also, we know that for 2 maximum value happens between midnight and noon. For 2 minimum value happens 6 to 18. Let's write this down. Maximum, that's 14.5. Minimum, that equals 6.5. Therefore, our A equals 14.5 minus 6.5 over 2. That will be 8 over 2 equals 4. Then for the D, I adding 14.5 plus 6.5 over 2. That will be 21 over 2 equals 10.5. For the period, midnight, I can count 0. Noon, that will be 12. We can do 12 minus 0 equal 12. Or you can use that 18 minus 6 is still 12. From the given function, we know that's in radian. So B equals 2 pi over P. Means 2 pi over 12. That's pi over 6. So how you get the C now? Still check the given pattern. We don't have T minus a number. That means C equals 0. Now, according to this information, we can write down our equation. General pattern will be like this. So we got y equals, a here is 4, cosine. B is pi over 6x, then plus 10.5. You can check your answer. When x equals 0, we plug in, this will be 1. So we got the 4 times 1 plus 10.5. That equals 14.5. That means this is a correct answer. Now, let's compare these two cosine function to figure out a equals 10.5. Then b equals 4, because this is a multiplication to the cosine. That's b equals 4. And for this part equals to pi over 6. So you need to write down that 4 pi over 3k equals pi over 6. Then we do cross multiply. You will get 24 pi equals 3 pi k. Then we divide it by 3 pi both sides. Then k equals 8. For the cross multiply, I taught before is the same line go to denominator. So we can get the k equals. Denominator, that's 3 pi. Then numerator 4 pi times 6 will be 24 pi equals 8. But if you cannot remember this way, and you can just do this way to figure out.